Hey, football fans, welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we gather around and talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have some great topics and a couple updates to talk about today. So let's just jump straight into the video. Starting off, new signing at cornerback. Hey, that's pretty cool. The Lions have added to their depth in the secondary by signing cornerback Nick Whiteside, a hometown product from Auburn Hills, Michigan. A graduate of Avondale High School, Whiteside, originally a wide receiver prospect, went to enroll at Saginaw Valley State in 2018 and suit up at cornerback. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Over 4 seasons, he accumulated 131 tackles, 26 pass breakups, and 12 interceptions across 43 games for the Cardinals. Here in Division II All-American nods in 2021 and 2022, along with GLIAC Defensive Back of the Year honors in 2021. He was undrafted out of college, but Whiteside signed with the Washington Commanders in May of 2023. He spent most of the season on the practice squad before being elevated to the active roster spot for the final 2 weeks, logging 28 snaps across defense and special teams. Washington then released him late August 2024. But then, wait, there's more. In December 2024, he signed with the St. Louis Battlehawks in the UFL. And then in the 2025 UFL season, Whiteside appeared in 11 games, recording 20 tackles, 4 pass breakups, and 1 fumble recovery as part of the Battlehawks league-leading 8-2 campaign. So what does this mean for us, right? We got a guy who's obviously shown that he can go and play at this level of ball, right? He's built for it in college. Despite it being D2, we've seen some D2 guys come out and be great. Matthew Judon, we talked about last time, right? Some of these guys, they end up coming out and they're being these like, oh, hey, look at this guy. This could be one of these cases. Now, do I necessarily think he's going to go and start for us? No, not at all. Absolutely not. I think it's still going to be, DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold, and then Amik Robertson is going to be that next guy up, maybe playing that other position. But I think those are where we really are going to be strong. But you got to think about it. Ennis Rakestraw hurt his chest. Terrion Arnold left with a foot injury. He's back now, but you're never too sure, right? Having these depth guys in the secondary position is really good for us because we saw last year what happened when Carlton Davis breaks his job. Who's the next guy up? Now we have a guy who we can kind of, I don't want to say rely on, but we have someone who we're now like, okay, he's been in a position before where he needs to win and needs to help a team. He's a good depth piece. I think it's a great depth piece. And I think the fact that he's got all these honors shows that he's a competitor and he's a winner. So that to me is really cool. Again, having a hometown hero on the team is always cool. We've talked about that. Signing Hutch was that one of those super big ones for us. But now we got Ian Kennelly out of Grand Valley State and stuff like that. I think having a hometown hero and someone to add to that secondary depth is going to be really great for us because we know what happens when we have too many injuries and we can't finish off a season strong. I'm excited about this one. I want to know what you guys think, though. Is this a good pickup? Is this a good signing? Is he taking up a spot on the team? I think, honestly, this is a great signing, and I always like to see these UFL guys get another chance back at the NFL and really prove themselves worthy. So, with that being said, that's what we got for Nick Whiteside, and let me know what you guys think about that signing. We're going to move on to our second topic of the day, where we are talking about ticket prices. Ticket prices. Oh boy. Yeah. So I was looking at these and I wasn't really sure if this was worth the story, but I think it definitely is. So let's talk about it real quick. The average ticket price for Detroit Lions games on the secondary market was around $254 for the 2024 season, making them the most expensive team to watch in the NFL. All right. So the Detroit Lions are now increasing season ticket prices for the second consecutive year with an average increase of 24%. Some fans are also reporting even higher increases, potentially up to 60 to 70%. The team's president, Rod Wood, says that increases are reasonable given the strong demand for tickets on the secondary market. Okay. Many fans are expressing frustration and disappointment with the price hikes, and some are even considering giving up their season tickets. So that's not good, obviously, right? So, Lions get super good. We get all this primetime TV. The market's going to, demand, what is it? AP economics, supply and demand, right? It is what it is. It sucks, obviously, especially when I'm like, oh, I want to go see the Lions. Oh, okay. Well, I can't do that right now, I guess. But what does this mean for the fans? What does this mean for the team, right? Well, on SeatGeek, the cheapest ticket to find in Ford Field was $356 for only a standing room ticket. The cheapest annual seat is $441 at the time of this publication. That was last year in December before the Bills game, right? And there's now an increase. It's a tough situation for the fans. We're really excited to see this team play because before it was easier to go, but we weren't really expecting much, right? And now that we're good, fans are proud, but don't even have the means to go see a game. Ah, ah, yeah. It's like if you're gonna be good, obviously you're gonna charge more for the tickets. For me, as a fan who's been watching them through some of the bad parts of this history, I've been waiting to be excited to go see a game. I'm sure a lot of fans have been really excited to go see a game, and these price increases are making it difficult to go see a game. So now fans are almost like, oh, dude, come on, like now I want to go see a game and now you're making it impossible to go. I guess that's just how the market rolls. I get it. I understand. But I think is it unfair to the fans? What do you think? Is it unfair to the fans? I want to say yes because, so many people have waited so long and now it's like, okay, well, now you're making it impossible. But at the same time, you know, this money is going towards stuff like improving the facilities and, paying for all the stuff that we need in the stadium. And I get it. I get it. When you get better, you need better stuff and that requires money and money doesn't grow on trees. But I don't know that one. That's a really rough one for me, right? I was looking at Browns tickets this year, and the cheapest one I could find was like 300 plus to see Detroit play the Browns. I mean, come on, really? No hate to Cleveland Browns fans, right? But come on, really? 300 plus? And it's like you go look at the secondary market and you'll find cheaper tickets, but it's not always necessarily going to be the ticket you want or where you want to sit or at the price you want. It's not always going to be the price you want on the secondary market. So it's tough. It's a tough situation. What do you think? Honestly, I want to hear what you guys think about this one. Is it worth it? Are you still like, hey, they're good enough now? Like they deserve my money. I'm still gonna pay it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious about this one. But with that being said, tickets are expensive. Let's move on to the third topic. We are talking about some more updates from the Lions training camp. I feel like every time I record a video, there are just more updates and more notable updates that I want to talk about. So let's jump straight into it. We have some more players that we didn't touch on the last few times, and I think it's really exciting to look at. So first off, John Gruden Monday comparing Jared Goff to Joe Montana. Okay, yeah, sure. He said similar personality, similar playing style, and he's tough. Sure, hey, I know he's tough. I wasn't around to see Joe Montana play, but if he says so, I'll take his word for it. Thanks, John Gruden. That's awesome. Jared Goff was 5 for 6 with a touchdown pass to wide receiver Jamison Williams on a crosser. Goff's only incompletion in the period was a drop by running back David Montgomery. It's okay, David Montgomery. You run through a dude's face. You don't need to catch every single ball that comes your way. And then apparently, if you watch Goff's eyes and how he uses them to manipulate the defense, it's a very underrated skill for a quarterback, in my opinion. It's one of those cool ones. We see Matthew Stafford with the no-lookers. Obviously, that was really cool, and it was a good skill to have. It was kind of his thing. But if, he's got all these – Jared Goff's got these little things that help him in the long run, I think it's good skill to keep in mind. Jared Goff's cooking. He's cooking, right? He's still hungry. He knows what he should have gotten last year, what the team should have gotten, and he's coming back with a vengeance. We've talked about how David Montgomery talked about that. So I'm excited. I'm excited to watch Jared Goff, and if he's looking like Joe Montana, hey, knock on wood. It's promising stuff right there. Thanks, John Gruden. Appreciate that little update. Linebacker Alex Anzalone was also back at practice, though most of his work was off to the side as he works back into the mix. So good to see he's back. He's moving. We're getting back in the team. Love it, Alex Anzalone. Keep that hamstring kept and make sure it's okay. But I'd like to see that he's back and moving around with the team. And Ennis Rakestraw Jr. returned to practice after missing the last few days with a chest injury. So he's back. He's moving around. Same with cornerback DJ Reed and edge rusher Al-Qadim Muhammad, but they worked offside practice as well, looking close to returning, though, according to the athletic trainer. Safety Kirby Joseph did not practice on Saturday. That's something to note. Hopefully it's not injury. Hopefully it's like something completely else, something unrelated. We thought DJ Reed, we were worried about DJ Reed for a little bit, and then we found out he had his kid. So it was like, hey, Good for you, man. But hopefully Kirby Joseph gets back into the mix because we know how important he was last year, and I know how important he's going to be this year as well. One of the best safeties in the league, if not the best intercepting safety in the league. Just saying, we need him back, obviously, but it's good to see that some of these guys I was worried about with these injuries and it's just stupid injuries in these training camps that we just don't need to have. They're getting back into the mix and they're expected to return soon. That's good for me. I'm excited. That's good enough for me. And then we have Jack Fox still balling. Let's talk about Jack Fox a little bit. We don't talk about punters. He was kicking around the 5-yard line toward midfield and really got into that, or really started sailing ones over the returner's head, nearly of the opposite goal line. Fox became the first punter in NFL history to average at least 51 gross yards and 46 net yards per punt last season. He's an animal. He's a dog. I love Jack Fox. Sneaky passer, too. If you look at him, he's not a bad passer. He's got a little bit of an arm. We saw that in the fake punts from him every once in a while. Jack Fox, a baller. I like him a lot. Good punter to have. It's one of those positions you don't always think about because you're like, oh, he's the punter. But when you need a good punter and you need him to pin you down the other team somewhere to give you a good advantage, Jack Fox comes in clutch. I rarely stand up and clap for a punter, but man, he catches me doing it more than average, I will say. So it's cool to see Jack Fox in practice is just continuing to be consistent, get those reps in. It's always good to have a special teams guy be consistent. Thanks, Jack Fox. Appreciate you being a Detroit Lion. Appreciate you being a dog for us. So with that being said, let's move on to our fourth and final topic of the day. I'm just going to discuss some more comments, right? I hear you guys. Some of you guys were not very happy with my trading takes, and you know what? They're rumors. So I'm sorry to disappoint you or upset you, but they're just rumors. But I do appreciate everything you say. I take everything you say into consideration going into my next video. And like I said, I don't know everything. So when you guys do give me those little tips, I do appreciate everything. Every comment counts. I do appreciate it. So starting off, we have Brian Ruth 81. They said, we are not getting another edge. Stop it already. If we did, it sure won't be a starter. Well, okay. Let's talk about that for a second because he was, not happy about me with the edge trade rumors. I think we will get an edge rusher. I think we kind of need an edge rusher. I love Marcus Davenport, but we know he's injury prone and we know he's not going to be here for the entire season, most likely. Hopefully he is. I'm not wishing anyone to get injured. But, even if we did get one and you're saying he wouldn't be a starter, is that necessarily a bad thing, right? Having depth was one of the biggest issues we had last year. And I think having depth, even if it's, it won't be a starter. Okay, well, it's still good to have someone who we can kind of rely on, next man up mentality. That would be good for me. And that's all I'm really looking for here, right? That's all I'm looking for here. Just some depth at that position. Za'Darius Smith, I don't know what we're doing. We need to just go get him, I guess. If we're not going to, then we talked about Matthew Judon. We talked about AJ Epineza. So some of these guys, right? Just go grab them so we don't have to worry about losing our edge rusher and being sitting on our hands for the rest of the season. But I see what you're saying. I appreciate your comment anyway. Thank you, Brian Ruth 81. Second comment, we have Sieves24 who said, leave Trey behind, focus on our guys. Excited to see Agent Zero go to work this season. Showing progress at the NFL level is huge. DJ Reed definitely worried about that chemistry and the chance of ego. But let's see how the next weeks play out and see what he brings to act like that. If he's good and plays well, I don't mind him being separated, but it'll work out in my opinion. This was when he was out. We did find out he was just, his kid was being born, so he's back, all that good stuff. I don't think we're going to have to worry about ego. He did talk about in a press conference that he's honestly not the one giving out advice here. He says he realizes he's the new guy in town and all he's trying to do is work with the guys and just, be a team player. That to me shows that he's going to be a team player and that there's going to be some synergy in that secondary for sure. I got high hopes for DJ Reed. Great pickup in my opinion. And if he's working well with the guys and he's not being that, I'm the veteran, then it shows that they're just going to be a great group and hopefully have some fun this season. Thank you so much for your comments, Eves24. And finally, Superman24, longtime commenter. Thank you, Superman24. He said, Martin Levi were projected to be lower draft picks than Brad. Brad chose them due to their injury histories in college, so it does not shock me that they are injured. If Davenport goes down again, which he probably will, Brad has to stop shopping from the bargain bin. This one I agree with wholeheartedly. It was really good at first when we were getting these bargain bin guys, great value, so we could sign better, like the really star guys around us. That was early in this rebuild. Now I think we're at a point where we just need to go out and grab studs. I totally agree with you here, Superman 24. Well, it's awesome to find those bargain bin guys who end up being really great in the long run because you get a deal for them. I think we are at a point where we do need to start focusing on grabbing studs to surround our guys we already have. So thank you guys so much for your comments. I appreciate everything you guys say. Really means the difference, and it's always makes me smile reading your comments, even if they are telling me how wrong I am. So thank you guys so much for watching. We are out of time today. I hope you guys liked this episode of Lions Latest. If you made it to this point of the video, tell me what you guys think about ticket prices and this news guy we got at secondary. I really want to hear your opinions on that and whether or not we're getting a good deal or not. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell so you don't miss a single video, and I will see you guys in the next video.